Hello and welcome to Videos Academy for another Python API video with Flask. So, quick recap from the previous time. This is what we did. We had a simple API that sends greeting, cubes, a value, and concatenates strings. So if we run it in Postman, for example, if we run it like this, cubing the number 9, it will simply return us 7 to 9. And if we say, for example, greet Vitosh, it would return hello there Vitosh, based on the name here with the post. So it's time to start working with get as well, and to write something in our, what can I say, not exactly database, it's going to be a dummy database, but writing and accessing things in a database are actually really important. So let's start. So we create a new project, pretty much not a new project, but I'll simply create a new file, not here. Let's put it here. And it will be called app.py. I'm just wondering how to put it there. Okay, it shouldn't be here. Okay, app.py, and I'm just going to move it not in the py cache but in this one. Yes, and this app.py would be exactly the place where we're going to create our project. I'm going to cd point and cd point here. So I'm in the root of the Python API folder, and here I'm going to start from Flask import Flask request and JSONify. And our app would be Flask. And our database, our dummy database, would be looking like this. Items. This would be the name of the dummy database. Dummy database. Okay. So the target is to create something with API in Postman with Python and to get this thing. Okay. So first, let's start creating an item. I just like it this way better. And creating the item, our function will be called create item. And we would have data request dot get JSON. Great. And I'll be using the old thing that I was using before with the name. So if name not in data, return JSONify error required name, and here I would give error 400. So let's quickly write here name equals data name, and we will be having items append. I can say name, and here we would have return JSONify message, and our message would be item created successfully, and the item would be that name, and we would return 201 because we created something. Okay, let's quickly start it, and then we're going to improve this one as well, because already probably you're seeing some mistakes here. Okay, so Python app.py, and I'll just run it once more. Okay, I'll save it and run it once more, and now I see what's going on. Nothing is going on because I haven't written the magic here at the end. If name equals main, then app.run debug is true. Now it should be working. And yes, actually it is. Let's go to Postman and see what we can do here. In order to get something from Postman, I would need this one and the post method, and something actually really important that I'm missing is the route. So the routing is like this, up route, and here we would have IP, API, items, and the methods would be post. Saving everything, you see, it's live. I mean, I don't have to restart. So we can go here, we write API, we write post, body row, and here it would be something like name equals test. Doesn't like it, so it should be something like this, name equals test, and let's see. Okay, items is written like this. API items, send. Expecting something here. I don't know what exactly is it expecting. Let's try this way. And it's JSON probably. This should fix it. Let's give it a try again. Yeah, double quotes, but this was the issue, so last chance. Yes, item test message, item created successfully. I would say we're okay. Something else that we should actually add is pretty much a way to see all the items. So it would be called easily get all items. Just get all, or get, no, let's get all items is quite a good one. So it would return JSONify and this dictionary items, and of course the route API slash items methods would be equal to get. Okay, save, and I'm also putting get all items. Just the more we write, the better. So let's get, I'm just going to copy this one. Okay, we had a restart. So, okay, we get the three tests, and this one would be test 4. Somehow it works, yes. We posted it here and we got it here. So I would say quite okay. What I was thinking about adding is some kind of an ID. when we create the items, so pretty much should be written somewhere here. So it will be simply new item equals ID, and the ID would be item ID, which is something I'm going to put here. Item ID, and the name would be name. Okay, so item ID would be just one, I guess. For the very beginning, it will work. No, it doesn't even work for the very beginning. Okay, I'm just trying. Okay. And the problem is that this new item is actually not here. Let's write it here. Item, and here new item. And okay, so send. And when we get it, we would get this. What we don't like immediately is that the ID is the same for each and every item, which is really not the best way to go around. So item ID should be somehow incremented. How to increment it? Pretty much we can do len of length of what? Length of items, yeah, +1. That's really a simple way to increment things. The simplest I know. So let's write here A, and we write B, and then we write E because not everything is in order. And now if we go here, great, we are seeing ID1 with A, ID2 with B, ID3 with E. Great. I would say we are happy. So let's continue. What else should we write with get and post? Let's get the item by ID. Get item by ID, and additionally get item by name. So def get item by ID, and of course we need the item ID. Get the item by ID. And get item by name, I'm just thinking I'll just write a pass there as well. Def get item by name. Item name. Yes. Okay, so get item by ID, up route slash API slash items. And now the interesting part that actually makes the way to get this item ID, it would be integer and it would be item ID. And this item ID actually is the same as this one here. And of course, I need the method, and the method would be get, because it's in the name. I mean, get item by ID. Okay. So what can we do? Item is we can do a loop, or we can do something advanced. Item equals item for item in items if item ID equals item ID, something like this. Item for item in items if item ID equals item ID And I'm going just to see return JSONify item equals item. Like this. I'm just wondering whether it will work. Can come up with a lot of reasons that this one should not be working. Let's see. E F G and API items. Error connected confused. Okay, I haven't started it. Python. Okay, malformed URL rule. API items item ID. This is a problem. Yeah, happens. Int item ID, and of course I need to finish it. This is the problem here. Okay, so let's go back to Postman. G H, and let's try to get it, and let's try to get how do we call it, items, and then item 2. Well, item 2 is this one, correct. Item 1 is this one, great. Let's see what will happen if we don't have anything like an item like this. So returning an empty one, does it? No. Let's write something like if item is none, like error handling, because return JSONify, just copying and pasting, error, item not found, sorry. And of course, let's do it like this, and then 404, that's pretty much the standard for not found. Let's come back here, see what's going to happen. Why is it not returning? If item is none, let's print item. Okay, if item is like this, yeah, this should be actually working. Okay, there should be a way actually to make sure that if it is an empty, it should be returning none. So how to do this? Something like that. Should be working. The next iterator and then the default returns the next item from the iterator if default is given and the iterator is exhausted, it is returned instead of raising separation. Makes sense. And here if item is none. This is actually a good practice. Let's give it a try. So, well, something happened. Werkzeug debugger, whatever this means. Probably something in German. Just joking. Werkzeug is a tool, I guess. Next item for item in items, if item ID, I'm just checking the code here, equals item ID. Okay, this one is not actually needed. And now when we ask for 66, we get item not found, sorry. We can actually item not found, sorry. We can actually say which item is not found. Okay, item item ID not found, sorry. Item 66 not found, sorry. Yeah, makes sense. But item 2 is also not found. Okay, let's add a few items. 4. And if we ask for item 5 here, it will give us, and if item 55, it should give us item 55 not found, sorry. So far so good, I would say. Get item by name, this is the next one. So app route API items, and here we would have string item name, and the method would be get. Yeah, good, makes sense. So item name, pretty much I'm going to copy this one like this, but we will be interested in item name, and literally copying stuff. Never copy stuff, but yeah, leave it this way. Item name is not found. Let's write is here and is there. Okay, so let's test it. Let's test our thing. So post here API items, another test. I'm just wondering. So 1, 2, this is what I'm counting here. Is there like a way to, okay, close the collections? Okay, so another test here, write 7. So pretty much, yeah, this is how all our items look like. And if I'm looking for another test here, I should go items, and then here I would say another test. Oh, this would be tough because I would need something like %20, I guess. Just guessing here. Item another test is not found, sorry. Makes sense. I'll simply add another underscore test minus. Okay, another underscore test, let's see. And here I would say another underscore test. That's a good one. And the reason is actually I need a name here. API items name another test with the get. Let's try again. Items, and here I would need a name. This is okay. Hopefully now it should be working. Item another test is not found, sorry. Just wondering. I think I saw it somewhere. Oh no, after the, yeah. After the restarts, my thing is here. It's emptied every time. So continuing, now it should be present. That's really interesting. And I think the error is that I was copying here stuff. Oh yeah, exactly. I should be looking in the name, not in the ID. So one of the reasons never to copy code is this one. You forget about tiny stuff. Okay, you finally get it. Item another test is this one. It obviously returns the first one. So another test 2 should be with ID 4. So if I look for another test 2, yeah, ID 4 is here. So far so good. So the last thing that we are going to do is actually writing a few tests, and there will be more than a few. Let's give it a try. The tests should be written into a separate app, and it would be test app by, okay, not exactly a separate test, but I mean test underscore something. So this one. I'm just wondering what is this test API, test route. Okay, these are the old ones from the previous video, and these are the ones from the new video. Pretty much empty. Start importing stuff, or I can actually copy a few stuff like the imports from the previous video. Yeah, okay, I'll just copy this, nothing else. So importing unit test, JSON, and from app importing app. The important thing is that because we haven't specified like address, it is importing the one that is in the folder of the test app. Yes. So class test app unit test test case. This is what we are inheriting from. And of course, the first thing to do is def set up self app is equal to app test client. I am going to stop the previous application. So app test client is actually this one. We're going to run this one so we can build our tests on something. And the second thing is self app testing would be true. And just to start our thing running, I'm just going to copy this beauty from here. As I said, never copy code, but yeah, I can do it. Test create item. I mean, yeah, we should start creating stuff. So what do? We write data, and our data would be in JSON. So it's simply name, and it's new item. Makes sense. So response. This response comes from self app post. So in order to create item, we need a post method. That's why we are posting. Self app post slash API slash items, and of course JSON post data. Okay, the result would be JSON loads and response data decode our beloved UTF-8. Okay, great. Response here. So we need a few assert equal, and here we can say response status code 201. This is the one that we had before. Yes. And the second would be assert equal result.message would be something like item created successfully, this one. Let's give it a quick try. Python Python test app. Okay. I'm just going to stop it. Okay. COS and write again Python test underscore app py. Okay, I'm in the Python API, so Python test app without a dot. Okay, with a dot and then py. Yeah, finally. Serving Flask app on app. Control C to quit. That's a good one. Python test app. Why is it like this? And the answer is, as I said before, never ever, unless you really don't know what you're doing, never copy code, because this app run debug run main actually started this application, so it should be unit test dot main. This should be enough. Start calling these ones, and finally we get a dot, which means we're perfect. Let's try to fail it here successfully. 1. I am expecting exactly this one. Assertion error. Item created successfully is different than item created successfully 1. So yeah, this is actually a valid problem. So I'm going to fix this one and continue with the next one that we are going to test. So def test create item with missing name. I was having a here required name error, so data would be simply everything would be missing. Response, I'm copying this one, and the result I'm copying them. Great. And then self assert equal response status code. It was 404 or 400. Let me see. 400. Yeah. And the next one would be self assert in error and result. So we assert that the word error is in the word result. Let's print the result just for the test on the test result. Error required name is in the result, so yeah, for this one, just running it once more. I like seeing the OK thing here. So COS to clean everything, running it once more. Python test app.py. Yeah, that's how it works. Okay, continuing with the tests, because having some good test coverage is actually good. Okay, what is something else? Let's see, let's get all items. Well, this would be fun. Test get all items. And okay, response and the result, we will be having this. API items, yes, this is how we get it, but the decode we get it correct. We don't have a JSON data here. And the other thing is that we do not need a post, we need a get. Literally, so far, every time I'm copying something, I am making a mistake and I have to fix it. And I just use the word literally correctly in a sentence. That's good. Okay, so result, self-assert error, or self.assert equal. Response status code, it was 200, 200 okay. And the next one is self-assert in items and result. Let's run this one. Okay. And let's give it a try. Yeah, I can still print the result. I'm just curious. Oh yeah, ID new item, correct. That's the tricky part. We already have our thing, so, and by our thing I mean this JSON load. So we are never putting a 0 in our result. I mean, I can print it even. I'm just wondering if I print it here, would it happen? Just curious. Don't do this at home or in production. At home you can do it. In production, don't do it. Okay, and we have. Okay, I'm just going to cheat a bit. Dev test cheat a bit. Okay, and here I'm going to put self assert equal 1 and 1, just so we get on this one as well. I'm just wondering, I want to see this one. Yes, this is what I wanted to see. I'm going to write print. I'm going to write test sheet a bit here. Yep. Test sheet a bit is this one, and yet we got that one when we printed this one here. Okay. It's interesting. API items. I'm just wondering a bit why we print the result and then we print the other one. Okay, that's an interesting one, but I'm not going to deep dive on the video here because you probably somehow, I hope you didn't lost interest by this lyrical, I don't know the word, exclusion. Anyway, let's continue. Test get OD items, and the last one that I wanted to do actually is this one. Test create items and get count. Self. Okay, so response self app get API slash items. Okay, create an additional items n equals 5 in our case for I in range n, data equals name, and here it would be item minus I plus 1. Yeah, because I is usually a 0. Self app post API slash items JSON data. Okay, this is the JSON data thing. We can work it, make it like this so it is more visible. I'm just wondering. Yeah, looks okay. Although, no, let's leave it this way. And then get all items here. And response is self app get API items. Then result would be JSON loads response data decode UTF-8. This one I can copy actually, and then self assert equal response status code first with 200, and then check the count. Check if the count is in. So what can we say? Self assert equal items count and n, and I need items count, of course, which would be len result get items. This one should be okay. Let's give it a try. I'm expecting it will fail, and it failed. Yes, 6 different than 5. Why is this the problem? The problem is that we actually have 6 before creating this 5 here. We have created one more. So what can we do? We can say here before response, we can say items count, and it would be JSON loads response data. I'm going to copy this one. And then items count before test. This is the important one, equals the length of the items count dot get, and here items slash, yeah, and this item counts before test, we should actually put it with the n plus items count before test. Now the drum solo comes and everything's perfect. Okay, so on this really probably the longest video I did this year is the following. We wrote like a get, we wrote a post method in our API, and we wrote a few tests for this one. So thank you for watching, enjoy the rest of your day, goodbye.